Yokoso minasan! I'm Leo, I'm the professional Weeb, and today I'm bringing you guys and girls a new reaction to Attack on Titan episode 52. Okay guys, so in the previous episode, the fight between humans and titans has finally started, and in this episode I have very high expectation for some particular scenes. To those of you who have read the manga or who have watched this episode before coming to my reaction, in this episode a certain character will make his entrance in the story, and that entrance in particular was one of the highlights of the manga for me, for this arc at least. I'm really looking forward to see how they animated that scene because it was crazy good in the manga. I remember when I first read the manga chapter, I was so amazed with how they did it, and it was such an impressive scene. It was definitely one of the coolest scenes in this entire fight, and oh boy, there are so many cool other scenes in this fight. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they do that character's entrance, if you know what I mean, and hopefully a lot less CGI. That's one of my concerns of this season of Attack on Titan, because I don't want to be mean or I don't want to sound negative, but I'm not really a big fan of how they use the CGI in Attack on Titan. I know in other anime the use of CGI is okay, but it just feels a bit off in Attack on Titan, so hopefully there isn't too much of it, or if there is CGI in this episode, hopefully they do good CGI, not not the one that just stands out, you know, that looks like it doesn't fit in the scene. Hopefully they don't screw that up, because badly done CGI could ruin that scene for me, in particular for someone like me who is watching this season more for the animation and the music and whatnot rather than the story, because I already know the story. So hopefully they done that this scene justice. Other than that, in this episode I'm looking forward to see how Reiner and Eren continue to develop as character. Obviously Armin has been incredible in the previous seasons, and in general all the troops have been quite cool. And yeah, let's go ahead and watch this episode and see how the fight continues. So without further ado, guys and girls, I'm going to start the episode in 3, 2, 1. Let's jam! Awesome. So we're starting with the opening. I've watched by this point in time, it's already more than 3 weeks since the opening was revealed. I've watched it quite a few number of times. If you guys haven't seen my first reaction to the opening, it's on my YouTube channel. You know, go and watch my reaction if you want to see my first reaction, my first impressions of this opening. It's one of my I wouldn't say my favorite, but it's not my least favorite opening of Attack on Titan, if I were to put it that way. It's probably the fourth, if I were to like rank all the openings. I think this is like my fourth favorite. It's so hard, you know, when it comes to Attack on Titan, because all the openings are so amazing. Even though this is my fourth, it's still a really solid opening and one that I like a lot. But guys, before the episode starts, so I don't forget, if you want to support this channel, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button, you know. Go on Patreon if you want to help me that way, and yeah, it's definitely very much appreciated if you do. But yeah, I don't want to sell out more than this. I'm very excited to see how they animate some of the coolest scenes in this arc, in this episode. Hopefully this episode won't end really fast like the previous one. It felt like it just gone by in like under 10 minutes. But yeah, Descent. Oh boy. If you are watching this episode for the first time now, Descent is definitely a mild way to put it. Okay, so we're starting with some scenes from the past when Eren was plucking that hole, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. Bertholdt and Reiner were together at that scene. Even Annie, I believe, was with them, or no, she was with them earlier, before before the female Titan finally appeared. If you actually paid attention during the first season, you could see, yeah, them being together all the time. Oh, and this is the part where, yeah, it wasn't revealed in the anime. I know that they showed the scene when Eren was talking with Reiner on that tree. Shown this scene before. It's not the first time that we see it, but it's finally explained now. So if you guys don't remember, when Eren was on that tree with Eren and Bertholdt after they escaped with Ymir and whatnot, they actually showed this scene of them killing Marco. But obviously at that time, many people didn't really know what was going on, or this is when it was shown in the manga for the first time in this arc, but the anime chose to do it a bit earlier. It's so hard to watch because they've been friends, right? Yeah, so here is where Annie finally come. If only he knew. You can see on her expression how hard it is for them to actually kill him, and you see they don't use their swords to kill him. They want to feed him to Titans. Obviously, it's very hard for them three. They were children when they came here. They were very young, and obviously they made friends and got attached to the other kids. But they also have a reason for doing all of this. It was still not revealed yet. It's still a mystery why they're doing this exactly. And it's kind of nice to see Annie not being certain of what to do and what is right. The scene also shows that they were working together, Annie and Bertholdt and Reiner. It's obviously hard for all of them to kill their friends. They must have a very strong reason for doing this. Damn, it's hard to watch. You can see Annie even crying about it. Bertholdt as well, you can see him tearing up, and even Reiner. Even they don't know what's right and what's wrong at this point. Obviously they came here for a mission. We still don't know where they came from or what their goal was at that point. And we finally see the Beast Titan talk a bit. Obviously Bertholdt likes her. But this guy seems determined. He's a lot older than them as well. Give up your armor to another warrior. Think about what that means. We know how Titans get transferred from one person to another, right? From the previous, we know how the coordinate Titan gets transferred. We've seen in the previous season. They pretty much have to eat. Another Titan has to eat a Titan who has one of those powers, right? And they get to keep their power. Let's end this. What's his plan? War Chief Zeke. Oh, yeah. That voice is so creepy. Obviously, that Titan can speak, so there's something special about it. There's still a lot of mystery. Yeah, but there's still a lot of mystery surrounding all of this. Oh, this was right before the scouts came, because they noticed that it was still warm, I believe. The coffee or the tea, whatever they had. They're both determined. Bertholdt wants to save Annie at all costs, definitely. And Reiner has his own motives as well. They're still not revealed in the anime, so I won't go over them. Obviously, they made a promise with Hymir. We still don't exactly know what has happened to her. And we see the scene from the opening where they both go on separate ways. Obviously, they have two different tasks. We knew what Reiner had to do. He pretty much had to go kill the horses. But Bertholdt still hasn't shown himself. He's still hiding. Damn. The Thunder Spears worked. Oh, seeing them cry. Of course they got attached to him as well. It's very hard to fight your friends or someone who you've been together for a few years now. Even Eren probably is a bit emotional. Hanji is the only one who actually has a clear mind and is not celebrating yet. I guess Armin has to justify their actions somehow. Oh. Damn! The way he screams. Reiner is not gone yet. Even after having his head pretty much blown up, he's still alive and well. And there's where Bertholdt is. It's coming, boys. It's coming! The strongest Titan is coming. It was a signal. Yes, it was. It's cool that Armin is such a smart character. He figured out as the plan is happening. Let's go. Oh, they didn't see this coming until now. It's too late. Yep, they got you. Will they make it out on time? Probably. But we know that the Colossal Titan is... Yeah, exactly. Is very huge. It's almost impossible to avoid it. It's all up on you, Bertholdt. Oh. If Bertholdt transformed... if he transforms now, they're pretty much doomed, but... if he transformed, that also meant that Reiner could have died, because look at the state he's in. It's cool to see that even though they have a mission, they still care for each other, right? Oh. The interactions between Reiner and Bertholdt have always been so cool. They've always been really close, and yeah, even now you can see Bertholdt should have transformed when he was above them. He would have pretty much nuked the entire area, but yeah, he wanted to protect Reiner. In a way, he made the wrong decision. But Bertholdt also, in a way it's the wrong, but also the right decision in a way. He wanted to protect his friend. And he may even consider negotiating with them. Exactly. Armin is so smart. He like knows everything before it happens. And Bertholdt is a character that you could negotiate with. He doesn't just rush in like Reiner does. It's really nice to see that Armin is actually trying to do that. But why? You have to ask yourself why. Obviously he has his motives that he can't really talk about. He's trying to play that card. That must be so hard for Bertholdt to hear about that. Armin is trying to do the right thing. I've always liked Bertholdt, even though he doesn't get much screen time. He's an interesting character. He's very similar to Armin in different ways. Reiner is similar to Eren in a way as well. There definitely are parallels between these characters. This is such a powerful speech. Some things will be revealed in later in the season that will make this even more. Damn, they actually animate the scene. I didn't think they would animate the ear cutting thing. I thought it may be a bit too gore, but of course there have been already a lot of gore things in this series. Yeah, he definitely seemed like a different person. But then again, it's really nice to see that he doesn't consider them as demons and all that. He sees them as friends and as good people. There's nothing you could do. Well, that remains to be seen. Damn. Well, that's one of the themes of Attack on Titan, right? How cruel the world can be. But now it's finally coming. Ah. I can't wait to see. Bam! Damn, the houses are all being destroyed. It's been a while since we've seen the Colossal Titan. They did make it like a nuke. That was such a cool panel in the manga. You definitely should check that out. They did a good job so far in the anime. Did they get hit? Did they survive at least? Oh, damn. They did use CGI, but it looks okay from this angle at least. I don't mean it too much. Oh, and you can see Reiner regenerating. He's so skinny though. Didn't he have like thicker arms before? They have to stop Bertholdt in a way. Yeah, exactly, then. That's true. He could separate everybody that went after the beast and Titans outside from everybody inside. What will they do? Armin is not able to think clearly because of what Bertholdt told him earlier. Damn, and all the house is raining down from the sky. It definitely looks a bit weird when it's CGI. I would have preferred to animate it in a classic way, but it's not that bad. I actually don't mind it as much as I thought I would. Such a beast, literally. Oh, wait. The episode is over already? Oh, why? I was just starting to get in the mood for it. It's already over. Like, why? Come on. This episode went by even faster than the previous one. Has it been? It's already been 25 minutes since I started recording. Oh my god. Well, I guess I kind of lost track of time for a moment there. I'm so involved in those episodes that I just lose completely the track of time. It was great, a great episode, but I'll talk more about it in the review part of this episode. So I'll see you guys in just a bit. This episode went by so fast. Why do you do this to me, Attack on Titan? Why? Oh, I wanted so much more to see in this episode, but you know, they did a great job with with adaptation from the manga to this episode. It was pretty much a one-to-one adaptation. I don't think they skipped anything important, at least, or even the small details. I've seen some that they kept in. So huge props for the adaptation of this episode. But I'm starting to wonder how will they fit in the future the remaining content in the manga, in the remaining episodes. We have only 7 episodes left, and I know that might sound like a lot, but there are still a lot of things that will happen in this season. A lot of plot lines will be closed, a lot of new ones will be open, a lot of new information that we'll get, and 7 episodes. I hope they can fit everything in. I hope they don't cut the fighting scenes too much, because this arc is heavily on the fight scenes, heavily focused on that. But perhaps this is why this season is only 10 episodes, because obviously if you do like an action chapter in the manga where there's a lot of fighting scenes, you mainly have images and not that much text, and when you animate that, you can actually animate it really fast. You can go through the material really fast, because animating can do like a full chapter of just fighting in only like a couple of minutes or so. So perhaps that's why the number of episodes is so small, but I hope they don't skip important story beats, or I hope they just do a great job in general, which so far, to be honest, I'm very much impressed with the adaptation of this season. I like it very much. But regarding more information that we've learned in this episode, we've learned about Marco's death, more about it. We already seen, as I mentioned during the episode, when Eren and Ymir and Bertholdt and Reiner were all on that tree when they were escaping from the scouts. We already seen a little flashback to the scene where Marco dies, and the 3 of them, Reiner, Annie and Bertholdt, were just watching him die pretty much. We've already had a quick flashback to that scene, if you guys don't remember. And in this time we got more information. Obviously it was very hard for them to kill him, but they still did it, right? They have some reasons to do so. They have the secret that they are Titans and they are over there, but obviously why would they go to this length after they've been together for so long? Why are they trying to kill everybody in this town in particular? Because as Bertholdt mentioned later in the episode, this world is cruel and he can't really do much about it. If he could choose, he wouldn't try to kill everybody there, because they're all his friends, right? But he has to. He put it in a way that that's his job, that's his mission, and he has to do so. So at this point in story, even if you haven't read the manga, even if you don't know what's going to happen, you have to start thinking why or who sent them here, because obviously the Beast Titan came in later. He didn't come with them when they initially arrived to the walls. So where exactly do they came from, and why are they trying to eradicate everybody here, and why are they trying to capture Eren? Well, obviously they want to capture Eren because of his Titan power. They made it very clear that they wanted Ymir for her Titan power, And obviously Eren has shown to be the coordinate and someone who he managed to control basically all the normal Titans in the previous episode. So obviously there's something special about Eren's Titan, but you still have to wonder why have been them in the city, in the walls, right, for so many years. Did they have that mission from the moment they arrived? Because obviously they are the one who broke in the walls, but we still are not quite sure why they did all that they've done so far. So obviously there's a lot more information that we are missing at this point in the story, and for those of you anime onlys who watch my reactions, I'm glad to tell you that you will get that information very, very soon, so you wouldn't have to wait too much longer. Of course, in standard Attack on Titan fashion, the more information you have, the more questions you get. So don't expect to get everything in this season. Don't expect all the mysteries to be solved, because you want. A mystery is one of the strong things about Attack on Titan, one of the strong points, and one of the things that makes this show to be so popular, because it's such a cool setting. Humanity in the brink of extinction, being attacked by all these Titans and struggling to live, and now we find out that there are humans in Titans, right? And why did they come here? Even those humans who are pretty much the same, there's nothing different between Bertholdt and Eren, for example. They both are Titan shifters, and yeah, they both have this power, but for some reason Reiner, Bertholdt and everybody else wants the guys inside the walls dead. So that remains to be seen why that is the case. But in this episode, another cool scene that we got was Reiner being able to survive after his head was pretty much completely blown out. He managed to survive. He, as Bertholdt put it, he transferred his consciousness in the body of the Titan, right? In the nervous system of the Titan. This is one of Reiner's special abilities. He can survive pretty much death. In a way, it's plot armor if you think about it, because he should have in a way been dead there, but obviously Isayama has other plans for Reiner later in the future, so he didn't want to kill him off just yet. But it's a cool ability all in all. The Arbor Titan is such a defensive Titan. He has all this armor, so he's the hardest one to get, the hardest one to hit, the hardest one to damage. And then even when you are able to break his armor and damage him, even then he has this final trump card, this final ace in the sleeve, if you want to put it this way, that even when you kill him, he still can survive, well, at least temporarily. Obviously, when Bertholdt was going above everybody else, and when he was descending, his orders, if you want to put it this way, maybe the goal that he had was to blow up when everybody was around Reiner. And because Reiner has the strong armor that he does have, he would have been able to survive normally. If Bertholdt transformed into Colossal Titan next to Reiner, Reiner should be able to survive no problem. We've seen that in the previous part of this season, when both Bertholdt and Reiner revealed their identity, revealed that they are the Armor Titan and the Colossal Titan. They both transformed at the same time next to each other, and everybody was pretty much blown away, but Reiner transformed into a Titan and he was pretty much unharmed. So Reiner is one of the characters who can survive Bertholdt's nuke when when he transforms, but obviously all the humans wouldn't be able to deal with that. And they should have been dead at that point, because if Bertholdt transformed when he was above everybody else, they were way too slow. They couldn't dodge his attack. But at the same time, the thing that stopped Bertholdt from transforming was seeing Reiner in that state with his head blown up and his body pretty much stuck in the Titan like that. And obviously, if he transformed at that point, Reiner's body couldn't have been saved because he was just in his human form, and if Bertholdt transformed, he would have pretty much killed Reiner at that point, because that was his final chance of living. Reiner did everything he could to survive in this instance, so if Bertholdt transformed, he pretty much would have obliterated his human body, and even though his Titan could survive, right, we know that the Titan fluid is from the nape, right, where they sit, where the humans sit inside the Titan, from the back of the neck, from inside their bones, right? And if Reiner's body would have been obliterated, he would have died there. So even though from a strategical point it made sense for Bertholdt to transform, that meant Reiner would have died at this instance. So obviously there has been some interesting and a lot of character development for Bertholdt. He was always a shy character, very timid in a way, and pretty much just followed Reiner for the entire time. But even in this episode we see that Reiner never believed in Bertholdt. He never found him to be someone who could get shit done, pretty much. But he said that he didn't think Bertholdt was that kind of person until now, and obviously that was important for Bertholdt, because he respects Reiner. He obviously has a lot of trust for him, and the relationship is very important to him, so he couldn't get it to kill his best friends, even though if he did kill Reiner at this point, that meant he would have won this war. But you see that even when they talk about Annie, they want to save her, right? That was Bertholdt's goal. His motivation was to save Annie. He obviously likes her quite a lot. He's in love with Annie. This was revealed in previous season as well. So a lot of Bertholdt's motivation comes from his love for Annie, and that's interesting because in a way Bertholdt is a lot like Mikasa in this aspect, because he's motivated by his love for Annie, but he also, from a thinking perspective, he's also more like Armin, right? From a personality perspective, he's a lot more shy and timid and more afraid, but it's nice to see that he got it together, and Reiner was able to lay on his back with protecting his actual body, and now Bertholdt finally was able to transform, and we got that nuke, and that was a great scene. I loved it in the manga. I liked the way they did it in this episode. I have to talk a bit about the CGI for the Colossal Titan. As I mentioned before the episode started, I hoped that they would just animate it classically like they did in the first season. I think in the first season of Attack on Titan, the Colossal Titan looked in general much better than it does when they do it CGI. But obviously, to all of you watching, if you don't exactly know how animation is done and whatnot, is a lot, and I mean a lot cheaper and faster to animate using CGI than actually drawing every scene, especially when it comes to a weird character like the Colossal Titan, a character that looks weird, like a model that is not a human model, it's not something that an animator is used to drawing. It's a lot of work to draw something like that, and to do every frame, it takes very long time, and that's my guess. They're trying to save in a way money and also time by doing it CGI, because when you do it CGI you do it after the classical animation. So what they did was pretty much do the entire background like they animated it in a normal fashion, and after they did the background they animated separately the Colossal Titan. So in that's why a lot of times when you watch anime with CGI it feels like it doesn't belong in the scene, because it's pretty much copy pasted after the animation process is done. And when you do like normal animation, everything is done at the same time. The character is drawn on the scene at the moment when you draw the background in the same scene, right? So that's why it may feel a bit weird to some of you, myself included, but a lot of time you can get good CGI in anime, and to be honest, I am not exactly happy that they chose to go the CGI route for his Titan, but at the same time I can see the reason why, and I wouldn't say I'm disappointed or anything like that. And to be fair, the CGI was above average, to say at least. It was fine, you know, it was fine. It didn't distract me too much from the show, but obviously I would have preferred it to be animated in a classical fashion. But you know, it is what it is. We should be happy that we don't have to wait 4 more years for another season. And if animating the Colossal Titan using CGI is what it takes, you get, that's what we get. Like, we can't really complain that much. We can't be that negative, because
wait a minute.
Other than the CGI animation, this episode was pretty much perfect. It went by so fast, and it was just a cool episode. The flashback that we got in the beginning was meaningful. We got to see some interaction for the Beast Titan with Rainer and the Bertholdt, the guys that we followed for so long. It's nice to see some more character development. We even got a scene where the Titan that carries the cart was talking. So yeah, some cool revelations, some more information that we got in this episode. It was a very good episode overall. Other than the CGI, that may be like the one complaint that I could have, but other than that, it was pretty much flawless. It was a great adaptation, and yeah, I enjoyed it very, very much. It was really fast, and hopefully the next episode will be just as good or even better than this one. But that's about it for me for this episode, guys. If you enjoy my content, please consider giving it a like, hitting that subscribe button, and if you want to support me even more, go check out my Patreon, some cool rewards over there. But that's about it. I've been Leo, the professional weeb, and I'll see you guys in the last in the last episode. I was about to say I'll see you guys in the next episode. We still have many more episodes to come, so bye bye, sayonara.